Good morning, all my physics people. So this video is very short and sweet. It's just going to go over the motion and speed independent test review that you guys are working on for Monday and Tuesday, and also Wednesday, Thursday. So this is like a week-long assignment. Take your time with it. Make sure that you get it done. Make sure you get it done correctly. This is going to be a graded assignment. Okay, so there is some emphasis on making sure you spend your time wisely and get this done. So here's how it works. On slide 2, it's some fill in the blank. There it goes. There's a word bank to the left here. I want to note that the directions say a word could be used more than once or not at all. So you have to be very careful when you're reading through this paragraph and filling in the blanks. On slide 3, this is just a review of the speed, time, and distance equation and how you can figure out what the equation is. As a quick recap, we have this magical triangle that we can use where we've plugged in the original formula, speed equals distance divided by time. So if you can imagine this line that goes between the top and the bottom of the triangle, that represents division. And if we were to put a line in between time and speed, that would represent multiplication. So if I was to figure out what's the equation for speed and I put my hand over speed, my equation is distance divided by time. If I'm trying to find the equation for time, I put my hand over it. The equation is distance divided by speed. And then same thing, put my hand over distance if that's what I'm trying to find. And my equation is time times speed. Or you could say time multiplied by speed. Okay, so that's just there to help you because you might want to use them in the next couple slides. Slide 4. This is something new and different that I wanted to try with you guys. This is actually an answer bank, okay? So all of the answers for questions 9 through 14 end up here. So it's a way for you to just double check if you're doing the problems correctly or not. If you get an answer that isn't on the answer bank, you should probably double check yourself. Did you use the right equation? Did you type it in the calculator correctly? Are you using the correct units? The trick here though, this is the little like bloop, bloop, asterisk. You can't just like write down the answer and expect to get credit for that problem. The goal here is for you to show your work, emphasis on showing your work. The reason why this is important is because when you go to a test, and especially when you go to higher level sciences, higher level math classes, there's teachers out there who give partial credit if you showed the work, but you didn't get the correct answer, right? I want you guys to think ahead in the future when you're taking classes like calculus or algebra 2, or you're in AP physics, right? Very mathy subjects, and you have to do a lot of calculations, and sometimes those calculations can get long. But if you show your work and say, this is what I think I was trying to do, teachers can give you partial credit for that. And that's way better than taking a hit and getting a 0 because you just were not wanting to write down a few extra things. Okay, so answer bank, all of the answers to questions 9 through 14 end up there. If you don't get an answer that matches there, then go check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. Now, I will say there is one question on here that will not show up in the answer bank, and that's going to be number 11, because that one's kind of a short answer like question. So that's the only one that won't show up, but all the other ones will. All right. When you get to slide number 8, all of these questions deal with this graph. The text boxes were kind of getting scrunched towards the bottom. So if you need to reshape the text boxes or give a different size font so you can better fit your answers, feel free to edit that part. But you can't edit where the questions are. Okay. So you're kind of stuck on that end. Then slides 9 and 10 both deal with the exact same graph. And I want to go over this graph very quickly with you. So remember we did a problem in class where on the y-axis, on the position, we had a positive position and we also had negative positions, right? And that maybe threw some people for a loop because you're like, negative positions? What? Don't freak out, all right? So remember we said positives and negatives can kind of help us figure out where we're located compared to the original starting point. So let's say the original starting point is at 0 meters, right? If I go in the positive direction, that means I'm going forwards or ahead of that starting position. And if I come back towards that starting position and I go the other direction, right? It's not like there's a wall there, it's just a spot. If I go past it and I go the other direction, then I'm going in the negative side of that position axis. Okay, so let me say that one more time. Let me use the different, okay, so my pencil is the 0 mark. And if I go forward, I'm heading in the positive direction. If I go the other way, I'm heading in the negative direction. All right. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, 9 and 10 deal with this graph. It's just a repeat copy. I just didn't want to squeeze together all those questions on one slide. All right. These ones do not have an answer bank to them. So as you're working on them, if you're thinking to yourself, man, I just don't know that I'm getting this right. Prime time. Email me, check in with a classmate, don't copy. But that would be a good time to say, let me hop into office hours and ask Mrs. Billy so that I make sure I'm doing this right as I prepare for the test. All right, so that is the overview of the test. If you have any questions, let me know. Office hours open up at 10 a.m.